I'm talking Block Z. This one is directed by Mikhail Red, and it's actually a zombie movie from the Philippines. And it focuses on this medical college, of which there are obviously a great many students and faculty alike. And there is a mysterious virus that seems to have been around the area, and we have a patient brought into this kind of like this working kind of hospital, which is near the university. And one of our students is kind of studying there. And of course, there's a bite, and you can probably guess where that is going. And we soon have this kind of zombie-style outbreak ripping through both the hospital and the campus. And it is up to a small group of survivors to try and make their way to freedom. What'll happen? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. So let's first of all talk about what I liked about Block Z. So it's actually a fairly big production, I would say. We have lots of external shots with kind of zombies kind of running around. So you do get a good sense of scale. I did appreciate that. Lots of kind of extras, lots of kind of people running around. One thing I really liked about this movie, and I'll tell you right now, this is giving it a whole percentage more in my score at the end here. But I really like the way that they kind of used. Well, the fact that this zombie virus is kind of a mutation from rabies. And they kind of, so it gives it a little bit of an explainer through the kind of like some of the dialogue here. So I thought that was really good, but also how they then kind of use that to kind of explain how maybe the zombies are afraid of water, and also then how they use water to try and kind of like get round the kind of the rabies and things like that. So I thought that was very good, and I thought that was very quite clever writing, really, in the fact that obviously we have this kind of rabies connection, and then using the water, which you know, as far as I'm aware, rabid animals tend to kind of shy away from water and things like this. So I thought that was very good, and I really appreciated that. I thought our characters, although a little broad, were likeable and memorable characters. There's lots of kind of like, there's the high body count here, lots of kind of action. It's really fast paced, but we have some good emotional payoffs as well. I thought the zombie makeup was pretty good. I mean, they're fresh zombies, so we're not seeing like, you know, massively decayed zombies or anything like that. But nonetheless, it is, you know, the makeup is reasonable. It's not excessively gory, to be brutally honest. And you know, I think it was just a well-paced movie with good kind of like acts to it, and has, you know, heroic people, and obviously villainous human enemies as well. So what doesn't work? Okay, I've kind of touched upon it. Some of the characters here are a little broad. For example, we have the humble hero who is willing to kind of self-sacrifice. We have a kind of selfish bad guy who all he thinks about is himself. And again, we just have very broad kind of characters in this kind of respect. So we don't have much in the way of nuance or kind of like different facets to kind of people's personalities and things like that. It's actually unclear whether they're actually zombies or more or less infected. I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter, but we only actually ever see one apparently coming back from the dead, and that one has a heartbeat again. So it's not entirely clear whether these are technically zombies or just kind of like rage type infected, like from some of the 28 Days Later sort of style films. But nonetheless, I guess it's neither here nor there. I think the movie does have just not huge amount of variety in it, to be honest with you. It's more of just a run, chase, you know, run away from the zombies, fight them off, chase them, and there's some kind of quite typical moments within the kind of the film itself, which I thought was a little bit kind of disappointing. It ends up being somewhat of a kind of a workman-like, you know, okay zombie film, but not really. Apart from that kind of, let's say, the rabies thing, not really kind of setting itself too much itself in the pack. I mean, it's well shot. I thought the acting was all pretty good. It was a little bit distracting. I felt that sometimes they were speaking in Filipino, but then lines would suddenly be in English, and it was kind of like a little distracting. I don't really know why we had like characters almost speaking 3 lines in Filipino, then they'll speak 1 line in English, and then 1 line in back to Filipino again. It was kind of hard. I watched this with subs, but all of a sudden it would start talking English, and I would stop reading the subs, and then it would go back to it almost immediately again. So it was kind of a little weird, to be honest. overall, I think it ends up being a relatively average zombie film, but not a bad one. It is enjoyable, but I will give it an extra. I'll just push it an above average mark, because I do think there was some inclusion here of some clever kind of writing in regards to some of the situational stuff in regards to the use of the water, the rabies and things like that, and the fact that it has, you know, some quite, you know, easily identifiable characters that you can kind of root behind. So overall, I'll give this one a 6 out of 10. So an above average zombie film, but probably only just, to be honest. So it's worth a watch if you like zombie films. It's not going to set your world alight, but it's certainly watchable. It's certainly fun, but it's nothing you haven't really seen all that much before. Have you seen it? 6 out of 10. Leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.